The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and proceed him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught Peter and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, mga kapatid, brothers and sisters. Pakibating ang katabi ng good afternoon din. Magandang hapon. Thank you for coming to our Eucharistic celebration. Where is God? Minsan po I was taken aback by that question coming from a little child. Ang hirap po yung mga bata pag nagtatanong po sila. Minsan they'll catch you off guard and I was stumped. I was dumbfounded dahil I never thought about the question in the first place. Pero basic yung question nung bata. Where is God? May easy answers to the question, of course. I can tell the boy, yeah, God is in the Eucharist. He is there. God is in the Blessed Sacrament Chapel. He is there. God is everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. God can be found. But I felt that question was talking to me in a very special and intimate, personal way. The question, of course, was addressed by a little boy, but it was really more an address to me also. Where is God? How do you know that you have found God? How do you know that God is real for you? At I would like to refer the question to you also. Tinanong po kasi sa akin ito at gusto kong itanong din sa inyo. In your own experience of the question, where do you find God? Is He even real in your life? Totoo ba siya sa karanasan mo? Kailan mo nararanasan ng Diyos? Paano mo masasabi na, oh, Diyos ito. Oh, nakita ko na ang Diyos. Oh, naramdaman ko na ang Diyos. It's a very simple question, but really, it's a question that is somehow the thread that binds the three readings today. The question of, where is God? Where do you find God? The experience of Elijah in the first reading. Elijah was instructed, go out of the cave. Elijah, God is coming to you. Go outside and stand in the mountain before the Lord because He is coming. The Lord will be passing by. There was wind, a very strong wind, but God was not in the wind. There was an earthquake, a very strong earthquake, But the Lord was not in the earthquake. There was fire, a very strong fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. Wind, earthquake, fire. This is how God manifested himself to Moses in the same mountain where Elijah was, in Horeb. Another name for Horeb is Sinai. If you've been following me in our discussion of Exodus, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Numbers, all these books of the Bible, in the Old Testament, in the first 5 books of the Scriptures, God revealed himself to Moses in Mount Horeb, in Mount Sinai, through the strong wind, through the fire, and through the earthquakes, and even through the clouds that would envelope Mount Sinai or Mount Horeb. But this time, God could not be found in the earthquake, in the wind, or the fire. Di ba merong banda noon, earth, wind, and fire? God could not be found there anymore. Siguro yun ang ina-expect ni Elijah, that's why he went back to Mount Sinai. Context po ni Elijah, para lang po maintindihan po natin, galing po siya sa Mount Carmel. For those of you who have been to the Holy Land, how I wish all of you could go to the Holy Land so that you understand this better. Mount Carmel is in the north of Galilee, and Sinai is in Egypt. It's 1,000 kilometers distance. Malayo po yan. So Elijah, he defeated the prophets of Baal. Nag-contest po sila. I'll not go into that anymore. Pero tinalo ni Elijah yung mga propeta ni Baal. Para doon sa sakripisyo, napakita ni Elijah sa mga Israelita na totoo ang kanyang Diyos. God works and God is real. Maybe I would like to say the story na rin. Kasi nga, di ba, nag-offer sila ng sacrifice, and then ang sabi ni Elijah, o sige, kung sino ang makapagpapaapoy ng alay, totoo ang Diyos niya. The prophets of Baal, they went, they hopped and jumped around the altar of sacrifice. Nothing came. Tinutuya pa sila ni Elijah. Ang sabi ni Elijah, sige pa, lakasan niyo pa boses niyo. Hindi kayo narinig ng Diyos niyo. Hindi kayo binibigyan ng apoy. Hanggang napagod na yung mga propeta ni Baal at, see, your God is not real, sabi ni Elijah. Wait for me. And of course, Elijah was confident because he had the real God. So prepare the sacrifice, sabi ni Elijah. Ihanda nyo ang sakripisyo, ang iaalay na hayop at ang mga kahoy na gagamitin sa pag-aalay. It's in Mount Carmel. Basain nyo pa, sabi ni Elijah. Para masabi nyo hindi ako nagdandahayal sa inyo, basain nyo pa yung mga kahoy. And then Elijah called on the Lord, Lord, you have to help me out here. Pag ito, hindi umapoy ito, talo tayo nito, patay tayo nito sa mga tao. Anyway, to make the long story short, there was fire. Elijah was expecting that the people would approve of what he did. Kung babalikan po ninyo yung kwento ni Elijah, akala ni Elijah, ako na ang hero ngayon, ako ng bayani ngayon, sasambahin na nila ang Panginoon, patutuwa na sila sa ginawa ko. The opposite happened. The evil queen Jezebel, hindi ito yung Serena, the evil queen Jezebel, the wife of Ahab the king, ang sabi ng reyna, ay yung Elijah na yan, pain in the neck to us. Hanapin yan, patayin ninyo yan. Pinapatay ng reyna si Elijah. Si Elijah naman, sa takot niya, yun na kumaripas ng takbo, 100,000 kilometro pumunta ng Sinai, Mount Horeb, tagtago sa kuweba, takot na takot kay Jezebel. Kayo mga Jezebel talaga, no? Talaga. Takot na takot si Elijah, takbo siya sa Sinai, tago siya sa kuweba. Imagine this prophet of God. Imagine you're able to command God to perform a miracle and then you lose faith, just like that. And then you hide in fear. But the Lord, had pity on Elijah, and he went to Elijah and told Elijah, Elijah, I'm coming. I'm coming to get you. And there was fire, there was wind, there was earthquake, but God was not there. And Elijah got frustrated. Remember, fire pa lang nandun si Lord. Tapos ngayon, fire na naman, wala pa rin si Lord. He must have given up already. The Lord was not there. Not in the earthquake, not in the fire, not in the wind. Oh, so where could he be? And then all of a sudden, there was a tiny whispering sound. A tiny whispering sound. A small voice that gently was calling on Elijah. Elijah, come out. Elijah, come out. I'm passing by. And when he heard this, Elijah hid his face in his cloak because he knew the Lord is there in his presence. Where is God? Elijah found him in the small voice, in the whispering sound. In our gospel today, the disciples were in a boat being tossed about by the wave, by the big and by the strong wind. Binabayo ang kanilang bangka at sila'y takot na takot. And maybe they were also asking themselves, where is Jesus? Asan ang Diyos? Asan si Jesus? Ba't kasi pinauna pa tayo ni Jesus? Again, if you go and look closely in our gospel today, pinauna ni Jesus yung mga alagad sumakay ng bangka. Ang sabi niya sa kanya mga alagad, magdadasal muna ako sa bundok, mauna na kayo. Siguro nung nasa gitna na ng dagat at sila ay binabayo ng hangin at ng malalakas na alon, sabi nila siguro sa sarili nila, where is Jesus? Bakit naman tayo dinala ni Jesus dito? Ba't tayo pinabayaan ni Jesus? And then Jesus from afar saw what was happening to them. So Jesus approached them walking on the water. Instead of recognizing the Lord, what did they say? It is a ghost. Multo, may multo. It's Jesus who was there with them walking on the water, but they did not see it was Jesus. It is a ghost. They were filled with fear. And Jesus had to assure them, it is I. Ego eimi, it is I. Ego eimi in Greek, it is I. Goes back to Elijah, goes back to Moses in Mount Sinai, because that is also how God revealed himself to Moses. When Moses asked him, what is your name? What do I tell the people about your name? And God told Moses, I am who am. Ego eimi. I am Yahweh. Ako ay si ako. It is I. The Lord is Yahweh in front of the disciples telling them, it is I. That's the name of God. The name of God is the God who is alive, the God who is present. Presence. God is not absence. God is presence. God is not past tense. God is present tense. God is with us. And He does not just come to be with us, but He comes to save us. Yeshua. He is and He saves. Where do you find God? When there is in your heart the assurance that God is with you. Mahirap po ipaliwanag, mga kapatid, kasi iba-iba tayo ng karanasan sa Diyos. We have different experiences of God. But when do you know and how do you know that you have God in your life? Here's the thing about God's presence. You don't know it. You feel it. God does not come to us in the form of an idea or a concept. God comes to us in the form of love. When in your life you experience that in the midst of the darkness there is light, there is God. When in the midst of the hatred there is heart, there is love, there is God. When in the midst of despair there is light and hope, there is God. Because God is not absence. God is presence. Presence of love, presence of light, presence of hope, presence of joy. That is God. In a limited way, that is God's presence, God's fidelity to us. Kailan po natin nalalaman na nandyan ang Diyos? Kapag sa kabila ng lahat, nakakangiti ka pa rin, may Diyos pa rin. Kapag sa kabila ng karamdaman, nakakapagpatawa ka pa rin, may Diyos pa rin. Kapag sa kabila ng mga kabiguan at mga sama ng loob, nakakapagpatawad ka pa rin, may Diyos pa rin. Ubi caritas est, Deus tibi est. Where there is love, where there is joy, where there is hope, where there is light, God is there with us. So we ask ourselves, where is God? God is not something you know in your mind. God is something that you know in your heart, something that you feel and experience in your life. God is with us. He calms the storm in our lives. He takes away the darkness around us. He gives us an assurance that you will not drown. You will not perish. I am, and I am saves you. Sa samisa po natin ngayon, mga kapatid, tanungin natin ang ating mga sarili, when was the last time have you experienced God being so real in your life? And I assure you, He's always there. He's always with us. Lately po, meron akong isang nakausap about, she came to me for a short consultation, and she just had one very basic question. Sabi niya, Father, nasusuya na ako sa buhay ko. Suyang-suya na ako sa mga honors and accolades and awards that I have been getting. I was shocked. Because I thought she sounded arrogant or some sort. Nasusuya ka na sa mga tagumpay ng buhay mo. Nasusuya ka na sa mga awards na natatanggap mo. Parang, yabang naman. But when she explained further, then I realized she was being honest and sincere. What did she discover in her life right now? Wala siyang problema. Ang problema niya ay lahat masaya sa buhay niya. Lahat ng project niya, tagumpay sila. Lahat ng mga pangarap niya, naabot niya. Lahat ng mga nangyayari sa pamilya niya, masaya. And she was asking me, Father, ba't ganun? I have everything in my life, not because I take pride in it, but because I'm just really blessed and grateful for everything that has been given to me. Kakaiba po siya kasi usually, ang mga nakakausap ko punong-puno ng problema, punong-puno ng mga concern, issues in life that need to be settled, etc. Pero sa kanya, kakaiba. She has everything. But here's the thing, Father, she said, but I'm looking for more. What is it that I'm looking for? Nasa akin ang lahat, Father, without being arrogant about it or boasting about it. But nasa akin ang lahat po. Family, tanungin niyo ko sa family ko, I have a very happy family. I have a very loving husband. My children are abroad and all successful. In my career, kaliwat kanan, Father, ang award ko. But I'm not satisfied. I'm looking for something more. And I was just smiling as she was relating her story and situation. And napapailing na lang ako. And I told her, kapatid, you're looking for God. Because in this world, nothing can satisfy us. You have reached that stage of your life when you're able to reach and achieve everything. You're on top of the game. And you want more? This tells you. You look for God. And she's seriously considering becoming a nun. Sabi niya, Father, so where do I find God, Father? Sabi ko sa kanya, punta ka sa mga madre. Patulong ka sa kanila paano magdasal ng taimtim sa harap ng Panginoon. Learn the art of praying before the Eucharistic adoration. Just be with the Lord. 24/7 if you want. If you have time, just be with the Lord. Because as I can sense it in your life, the Lord is calling you to more intimacy with Him. Now you discover. And here's what Karl Rahner said about it. I hope you get to understand. Sabi ni Karl Rahner, a great theologian, in the insufficiency of everything attainable, you realize that here in this world, everything is a symphony unfinished. In the insufficiency of everything attainable in this life, you begin to realize that life is designed to be unfinished. Because you can only find completeness in God. Where is God? God is in that desire. God is in that longing for more. God is in joy, peace, love, and hope. In light, yes. But God is also in the experience of more. I want more in life. I'm not satisfied anymore with the awards. I'm not satisfied anymore with the cars and jewelries and gadgets. I'm not satisfied anymore with the tours and the places I go to. I'm not satisfied anymore with the blessings, material ones in my life. I'm looking for more. And I was telling her, kapatid, you're looking for God. And God wants to find you. In this Mass, I invite everyone, ask yourself, where is God in your life right now? Have you discovered Him yet? Because I assure you, God is with us. He is with us. He is never far. He is with us. Una, salamat po ng marami sa inyong pagdalo sa ating pagdiriwang ngayon. Thank you for coming to our Mass. Ngayon pong August 10 to 18, I think you very well know this already, we have started our novena Masses for San Ezekiel Moreno. He's not the patron of our parish, but we have been given the first-class relic of San Ezekiel Moreno. That is why we are having this novena. So sa August 15 po, 7 a.m., Father Jerry Orbos will be with us to preside in the Mass, and he will give a testimony on how San Ezekiel Moreno helped him in his battle with cancer. And then August 19, yung fiesta ni San Ezekiel, you are invited. We will also be giving away the third-class relic of Saint Ezekiel and Santa Maria Goretti. Ito po yung cloth na pinahid natin sa first-class relic. This is not an agimat, hindi po ito anting-anting. Ito po ay article for prayer, devotion, so that we can grow more in our faith in the Lord through the intercession of the saints, Santa Maria Goretti and San Ezekiel Moreno. So you are invited to 7 a.m. Novena Masses, August 10 to 18 and 19, our fiesta for San Ezekiel. Kung gusto niyo pong malaman ng kanyang kwento, just be with us in our Novena Masses. Doon po natin nilalahad ang kwento ni San Ezekiel Moreno. We would like also to tell you that our scholars are already now preparing for the next school year. Meron na po tayo more or less 120, 130, or even more scholars of the parish that we will be helping in this school year and hopefully for the following school years. Ito po ay dahil sa inyong mga tulong sa kanila, sa inyong suporta, we are now able to support all our scholars. But of course, if you are interested to help them, our scholars in the parish, you may wish to visit our parish office for them. No, yung mga kabataang ito nangangailangan ng tulong nila. So we need at least 1 million every year for the scholarship of our young people. And you may want to be part of this beautiful and noble project of helping the young people finish their school. Maraming salamat. We all stand. Our Mass is ended. Go in the peace and love of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.